Hey YouTube, this is the next in my series of guitars that aren't mine that are in getting fixed that I'm going to do a review of anyway. This is a pal Craig's Hondo. He's the guy with the Gibson Sonics from last week. Hondo 2 Les Paul copy. This has still got the sticker in the back, so it's actually an H732ML, this model. Yeah, you can see it's a bolt-on neck, but it's got pretty cool stringers on it. I suppose you could argue it's plywood sorta, but I mean plywood's that way, not plywood laminate. But it's got a solid block of, I'm not really sure what that is. It could be any kind of wood. It might be mahogany actually, on either side, and then strips in the middle. But it's it's solid. It's not the bad kind of plywood. You know what I mean? Not that it really makes that much difference. Yeah. So bridge pickup. Neck pickup. Just checking to make sure the tone controls still work there. Yeah, so my pal just bought this the other day and brought it up last night. And it was all working fine, so I tried to turn the volume down and realised that the volume didn't work. But luckily it was stuck on rather than stuck off, so I just replaced the pot. I don't think we decided what year this was. I think I'm thinking about 1980 to 1981 or 82, that the usual sort of early 80s. I would be thinking. I shouldn't really be talking about the condition of this guitar is fantastic for being 30 years old. It really is. It's a really nice, shiny, very nice looking guitar. Anyway, rosewood fretboard, the mahogany neck. This particular one's had a wee bit of damage in the back there. It's even still got the inspection sticker on it. This has got the tuners that I always say aren't the very good kind. You know, the ones that have got they're not sealed, but they work, and if they work, I wouldn't replace them. They don't slip or anything like that. So I think the problem with the tuners is these covered ones, the really cheap tuners you used to get in the 70s and stuff looked like that, but they weren't necessarily exactly the same. You know, a similar design, but they weren't these ones. These are all right. They're solid enough. I mean, I'm trying to think if I've got one that's got the really crap ones on it. I should probably just. In fact, I'm pretty sure this wee Hondo has this wee Strat has a really crap ones on it, if I remember correctly. It does, yeah. Hold on. Stick mine in another guitar. There's too many in here. Right. Yeah. Those are the ones that always go on about being really shit. See, I mean, they're a sort of similar design. Very shiny. But they've got like a sort of tin cover on them. These ones, although they're the same thing with the cover on them, they've actually got like a sort of proper metal cover. They're much nicer. So if you're watching this, Craig, I wouldn't bother changing them. They're fine. Great. That's both pickups on. I didn't actually even say I was doing this because I was replacing the pot anyway. The only pot I had, it was a B500 that was in it that was broken. The only B500 I had was a push pull. So if pull it out. Back in. So that's normal. That's phased. You never wanted to put a phase pickup in a Les Paul. Obviously I would never go and mod someone's guitar without telling them, but I was replacing a broken pot, so I put another pot in and I can easily put it back if it comes to it. And you just ignore it. I'm not even going to tell him it's there. I'm interested to see if he's actually watched this video. This isn't really a very long review. It's kind of hard to get enthusiastic about guitars that aren't actually mine. But it plays well all the way up the neck. It's they're good quality guitars, and just there's a couple of my pals, him and my pal Andy more specifically, have kind of, they've cottoned on to this idea that you can buy old guitars from the 80s and stuff for much less than modern guitars, and they're better. I think this one could be Japanese. I think if I've seen them advertised as Japanese on eBay and stuff like that, it might be Korean, but it doesn't really make any difference really. I mean, it's not super high end, but it's kicks the pants off an Epiphone. The best Epiphones kicks the pants off them. They already had strings on it, so I didn't even look and see what kind of pickups they're in. But it's got some balls. Really, I do like the face though. Now when I'll find out if there's any dead frets. I've not been up here yet. It's a wee bit not perfect, but to be fair, this guitar I don't think it's been played in 20 of those years, so the frets are kind of grimy. You know, I can actually see which notes I've played because they're shiny, because those are the ones that I've bent strings on, so I reckon see just playing it all over the place for a couple of weeks, it'll, you know, the string going over the fret will take off the sort of the corrosion on the top of them, and they'll end up fine. And obviously I would put new strings on it as well, even though I think these strings are new, but I think they're cheapies. Well, they're not elixirs, therefore if they're not elixirs, they're not good enough for me. Probably just because I'm used to them, I think. So this isn't in my Hondo collection. I've got one of my other videos. Have you seen it? I think I've had about 5 at one point. But if you're going to buy these guitars like this, you can get them cheap if they're not working. The reason I can get them, I buy quite a lot of them, is just because I know that if you know something like that volume control, it wasn't listed as broken actually. So maybe I wonder if the guy my pal should maybe actually go back and say, look. Had to get a repair shop to fix that pot. They charged me 60 quid. I didn't, I charged a bottle of bucky, but a guitar shop would cost you, would charge you that. But I don't know, but it's the consistency in this sort of guitar I'm not really sure about. I'm not sure even if they're all good or they're all as good. You know, if you're some of them, the West Tones, which are my current favourite brand, I think, they're all exactly the same. Like when you get even the different models, it's like you can totally tell it's exactly the same. Whereas I think these are all made in different factories. Maybe not for this model will be made, but I don't know how accurate they are. This one's a good one. I was thinking I get kind of put off Hondos a wee bit by one I had 6 months ago I bought, and okay, it wasn't this model. It just looked like a normal Les Paul in the pictures, and then when I got it back, it really was absolute shit. Not even the bridge, everything on it was just half the weight. You could just tell the bridges was just like shit, and the tuners were they kind of look similar, but they were just half the weight, much cheaper, and everything on it was. And it's like it got to the point. Even the body was just like it was plywood, not. Well, I'm calling it plywood. It's not plywood. You know what I mean? It's plywood because it's solid blocks. I'm talking about this one was plywood, as in the sort of plywood you buy in B&Q. Like kind of going that way. And an awful neck, and it was hideous. So it kind of put me off Hondos. Have you noticed I've not actually bought any in the last 6 months because that one put me off. But I think that's one of the problems with Hondo is they do make good guitars. They make ones higher up than this, but for every good one there was 10, you know, I don't know, £99 new or whatever they were guitars that they looked sort of similar, and they even said, you know, it's the same logo and stuff, but they were just cheap as you could make a guitar that looked like a Les Paul, and they made it. This would be like higher up. I think this one's what did I say? It was a 732. The ones that are in the hundreds are a lot better than the ones that are. There's an H736, which is a Strat copy, and it's a bit shit. Let's be honest, it's got a good neck on it, but the rest of it's, you know, you really want to go around that, and you can upgrade, even just getting stuff from China, you know, for bridges, pickups, tuners. You know, you spend 20 or 30 quid on all those bits from China, and you'll double the goodness of the guitar, but then you start going, just buy a better one. But that's the sort of, you know, the sort of double digit, sort of 76 and H76, and I really can't remember what the model of the Les Paul cheap one I had, but it would have been a, you know, an H50 or an H70 or something like that. Whereas you get up to 700 and something, you get, like, I've got the Fame ones are 757 and 762, I think, and they're, you know, that's just the model numbers. They're much higher up, much better guitars. Is that? I'm not a big fan of Les Pauls in general. I think it's just because when I was learning to play the guitar, everybody just wanted the Epiphone Slash one, you know, the sort of Sunburst to Jimmy Page looking, and everyone had that. I always wanted something a bit more different. For me, it was always the SG. But this one's much nicer, having something interesting about it, having the stringers of wood on it. It's cool. And it's a really good finish on it. It's dead shiny, and it's a good rosewood fretboard. It's like, see, whatever the quality of rosewood that fretboard's made of, compare that to what you get on the new Gibsons, and you're up at £1,000 before you get rosewood that looks like that. Because wood used to be cheap. Or the good wood used to be cheap, and then they all ran out of it, so it's all shite now. Right, enough gibbering on. I've spoken a lot and said little. Rock and roll!